Hey, what's up everybody? This is a Stark Varg review. I got 126 hours on this bike. I got 1,500 plus miles on this bike. And air time, I guess that's how they measure how much time you're in the air. It looks like 83 minutes. Max speed, 88 miles an hour. I was trying to, I think I was watching Back to Future that day, maybe. And I saved 148. I don't know if that's liters or gallons, probably liters. So, yeah, let's jump into the bike. Or wait, maybe we should wait a minute. All right, sometimes the app is a little bit laggy, but anyway, let's start with the airtime. So, I was going off jumps for a while and it wasn't registering until one day it started to register. So, that 83 minutes is probably a lot more. Just didn't really start reading until I think the bike broke in. But anyways, here's the bike. It's a 2025 Stark Varg. I bought it in January of 2025, and now we're basically in the month of June. So 6 months I've had the bike, and I put 120, was 126, almost 127 hours on this bike. I just cleaned it. Looks beautiful. It looks still brand new. Obviously there's decals on it and things like that. Got the chain degrease. Got some new tires on it. So let's start with the tire. All right, we'll start right here. So it comes with the Pirelli Scorpion tire, and I chose the Enduro tire, so the 18-inch, not the 19-inch. It was a really fat tire, and it lasted a long time. And then I replaced it with a Dunlop, and that tire got chewed up really fast. Because remember, this bike has a lot of torque, right? So your tires get shredded very quick. And the reason, before I get into it further, the reason I bought this bike, as you can tell, I'm in a neighborhood, right? And just there's desert over there, there's desert lots over there. I mean, there's desert, I mean, all over the place, right? So I just take off from here, and so I don't have to have people complain or anything. So the bike is definitely one of the best bikes I've ever owned. I've owned Yamahas, Kawasaki's, Hondas, and this bike is just way better, and we'll talk about why. But yeah, so I decided to go with a Michelin tire, the Starcross 6 series, and it's great. So far it's pretty good. And I just got the front Michelin. Guys, everybody likes Dunlop, but Michelin is a real tire company, and Michelin is way bigger than Dunlop. So think about how much money they go into investing. They have a patented formula called, I think it's like silica or something. So there's like some type of compound that only Michelin has in their tires, and it basically allows them to hold up. Look at this, guys. I got a freaking nail in my tire, and as you can see, it's still inflated. The reason why is because there's no air in this tire. It's a mousse. It's a nitro mousse. It's basically like a pool noodle in this tire to keep it nice and firm. Because I mean, out here people throw their trash, and there's like nails in the desert and whatever, glass. So yeah, I decided to go with the foam inserts, and I went ahead and did the foam inserts with the front as well. So this one is actually the Dunlop Nitro Mousse or Mousse, and this is the Starcross tires. So I have not even used these tires yet. So it's brand new on the bike. So I haven't tested the tires out. But other than that, no, let me just explain the bike. Obviously there's no oil change, there's no radiator, there's no air filter, there's no carburetor, there's no any of that stuff. And it really makes a big difference when you ride the bike, because this bike is 260 pounds, but it feels like it's about 215, 220 pounds. The reason why is because there's no rotating mass, right? When you have a 450cc engine that's rotating, that rotating mass is throwing the bike in a rotating in a rotating fashion. So it makes it feel heavier. That's why a lot of guys like the KTM 350s over the 450s, because it feels, even though they're practically the same weight, it feels lighter because there's less rotating mass. So this bike is 260 pounds, but it feels extremely light when you ride it. Now, that's why I bought this stand, because it is extremely heavy when you're just playing around with it. So I'm not going to go over every component on the bike. I mean, obviously you can find that. I'm just telling you my experience with the bike and my personal review, my opinions with the bike. So as far as going into technical terms, like, this is the charger, this is the motor, this is that, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to explain why I like the bike and why I don't like the bike. So, and there's not that many reasons I don't like. Let's start with what I don't like about the bike. What I don't like about the bike is that obviously it's heavy, right? The battery, I noticed after 127 hours on this bike, I noticed the battery is still strong. It's still very strong, but I can notice a little bit of it degraded a little bit. I can tell that it's running out of battery faster, but that's to be expected. I mean, come on, I got 1,500 miles on this thing, so we'll see how long this the battery lasts before I have to replace it, which is like $3,000. But yeah, this is the best bike I've ever had. But as far as the complaints, there's really nothing to complain about. Obviously, there's no clutch, so you can't modulate that clutch power, but you really don't have to, right? There's really nothing else to say as far as the complaints, except that the one thing that really bothers me about the bike is, let's say you're on top of a big hill, right? And let's say you're in neutral and you start rolling down the hill, you downshift to first, you pop the clutch, you could start your bike. This will not go to first gear. It will stay in neutral. You have to be completely stopped so that you could put it into gear. And to me, that's sometimes dangerous, because, like, let's say you go on top of a hill, right? And you sit there for 15 seconds. And then you roll down the hill, and then you start to give it gas. You can't give it gas because it's in neutral. So you have to completely stop, and you just better hope that there's not, you're not in a situation where you need the power. And I've been in maybe a couple, but obviously you can adjust the neutral time. So mine's at 15 seconds to save on battery, but you can put it up to like a minute, 2 minutes, so you never have to worry about that issue. But it's just really a nitpicking thing. But other than that, it's got the best components. Obviously the KYB shocks is awesome. Yeah, let's take a look at this side of the bike. So my son helped me put some stickers on. I put the decals on, but he wanted to put those stickers, so we'll see how they hold up. But yeah, this thing, let's start with the positives. So the seat, a lot of people don't like the seat, but I actually like the seat. It's a little bit more round. Like KTM's, Yamahas are more square, but the reason why I like it more round is because when you're leaning into turns one way or another, it actually helps you stay more planted. Some people might say it's a little slippery, but honestly, I think it's fine. You can get the guts seat for it, but it's really, really grippy. It's gonna tear your rear end up, though. I'll tell you that. But basically, the best thing about this bike is its handling capabilities. It handles so well. It's very nimble. You can toss it anywhere, even though it's really heavy. And not only that, right? Not only that, but it's got instant acceleration, instant torque, right? You don't have to worry about oil changes or anything like that, other than the gear oil. So the gear oil, you got to take this screw right here. There's one, I think it's this one here, and there's this one right here, right? And then you fill up some transmission or differential oil. I use Lucas, yeah, that's like every 60 hours, so it's no big deal. It's real simple. It's got the KYB shock. It's got a triple adjuster. You got your low compression, your high compression, and this is your rebound. And you can click it. So I went with the soft suspension, and it's actually stiff. So you can go soft, medium, hard. You can go gray, white, red. I chose the gray. But other than that, yeah, it's a steel frame, and it's one of the lightest steel frames, I believe. It's really, really strong too. So, we take it off some pretty big jumps, and it holds up very well. And I like jumping this dirt bike way better because you don't have to worry about the clutch. You don't have to worry about, let's say you go off a jump and you're going nose heavy, you give it gas and it immediately comes up, right? And I like that there's no brake down here. Here's your back brake, because when you're riding this finger and when you're you're using your back brake, this is more precise than slamming down on your feet, right? So I think it's way better, and it's more balanced, right? Because not having anything here is more challenging for me than rewiring my brain that this is the back brake. So other than that, there's really nothing else to say about it except for it's amazing. This is not necessarily going to replace gas bikes, but it's just an add-on to the sport, because the whole point, right, is not competition, but rather growing the sport through competition, because Varg comes out with their bikes, and what does it do for Yamaha? It makes Yamaha improve their bikes. Why? Because now they got competition, right? So they're KTM, Yamaha, they're always innovating their product, right? So if you have more competitors in the market like Stark, it's going to push them to be more innovative with their product, because all we want is the best dirt bikes in the world, right? Whether it's gas or electric. And if this is Stark Varg's first model, just think about what its 8th model, 10th model is going to be. It's going to be at another level, right? It's going to be completely different. So if this is their best first bike, I can't wait to see what comes in the future. So, it's kind of a shame to see like X Games banning the Starks. Like, I don't get that. They should just have a separate class for Starks, electric dirt bikes, right? It's again, it's not going to replace gas. It's just adding to the sport so that it creates more competition, so that it creates more investment for more innovation. So that's the whole point, right? But yeah, this is way better than my Yamaha 250 or 450. Much more accurate, more responsive. It's much more ergonomically balanced, right? You don't have an exhaust pipe. You don't have a radiator. You don't have rotating mass, right? So it feels completely different. Now, again, if there's pros and cons. What are the cons? You don't have the gas sound. You don't have the smell. You don't have the clutch. You don't have things like that. But you know what? I would give that up if people, didn't really want to call the police. And if I was allowed to ride out here, maybe I would keep a gas bike. But honestly, now that I've ridden one, it's going to be hard to go back. Now, for long trail rides, it could be a little challenging. So I get about 3 hours, between 2 and 3 hours, depending how hard I ride it. Now, if I ride it really, really hard, maybe like an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. And if you're like Eli Tomac, you can drain this thing in 30 minutes, 20 minutes, right? you could drain it super fast, depending how insane of a rider you are. But if you're just out here having fun, trail riding, hitting the track a few times, you know, I ride this bike every day, right? A normal gas bike, you couldn't ride it every day. You got to do an oil change every 3 rides, right? You got to change the spark plugs, the air filter, gas. I mean, there's just so many things, and plus the noise. This is just so much better. It's so much more freedom. Like, I can ride it anywhere without having to worry about people complaining or whatever. So, and again, the handling, the battery is fine. I think the battery is great, and I think it's only going to improve more and more and more. The suspension is amazing. KYB. I have to service the forks. I haven't done that yet. I need to service the forks and the rear. So if you know any suspension guys, drop a comment below. I'm in Southern California, so obviously there's quite a bit out here, but if you guys know any personal, let me know. Other than that, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. This thing is fast. This thing's on another level. And you know, another reason that's really cool is because I have a son. He's 3.5 years old, and he's on a little Stasic balance bike, right? Okay, he's not going that fast. He's going, what, 5-6 miles an hour? So I can ride with him. On a gas bike, I would have to be pulling the clutch in, popping the clutch out, pulling the clutch in, popping the... You know, I couldn't... This is the fastest bike in the world, dirt bike, but it's also the slowest dirt bike in the world because I can go as slow as I want. I can go literally 1.5 miles an hour. I could go as slow as humanly possible. I don't know why you would. I mean, obviously following your son around or doing some technical like woods or something like that, where you're kind of like jumping on rocks or whatever those enduro dudes do, right? It's really helpful because you don't have to worry about stalling the bike when you're going really slow. And when you're going really fast and you don't have that noise, it makes it feel like you're going even faster. So I've had this thing at 80 horsepower, fully pinned, and I got it up to about almost 90 miles an hour. But that was with the wrong tires. It's not a good idea to do that if you have moose tires, right? But other than that, man, this thing is awesome. I'm so happy. This is like the best bike I've ever had. I'm so happy I bought it. There's nothing I would rather have than this. And a lot of people hate electric dirt bikes only because they go, you know, they go, oh, they're for girls, they're for sissies, there's, you know, all the things they say, but they're just haters. You can't knock it until you try it. You have to literally try it, right? Everybody that all my friends that rid this bike completely blew their mind. And you may think you have an idea of what it feels like, but trust me, it's going to blow away your expectations. It feels like if you ride a Sur-Ron electric bike, no offense, but those things are not even on the same level, like nowhere even in the same league as this thing, right? This thing feels like a Cadillac versus a Sur-Ron, right? So anyways, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna go ride this thing. So all right guys, cheers.